I also need to ask you this question. If it happens that you need to change, maybe there's something you have an opportunity to change in a school, maybe like a rule or like a law, what do you think that would be?
They should increase the CBT time, because they sometimes give us 5 minutes for 20 questions, which is always small.
Too short.
Yes.
Hello everyone, it's another amazing episode of First Class Exclusive Interaction with Young Minds. I remain your host, Albert Oluwafemi Azoba. And as you all know, this podcast is basically having an insightful conversation with bright youngsters, having to talk to us about life in school and life beyond the classroom. In today's episode, we have a super star, a brilliant girl to talk to us about our experience in school life and what it's going to look like after the life in the classroom. So right now, our guest will introduce herself to us. Introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is Golden Marcus.
Okay, Golden, can you tell us a brief thing about yourself? What are the things you like doing at your free time? What's just a few things about yourself?
I love drawing.
Drawing. Awesome. Okay, good. I quickly want us to talk about something, and that has to do with the reason why people go to school. But I would like to ask you, what's your own reason why you are in school? Why are you in school?
To learn and become someone in life.
Thank you. To learn and to become someone in life. So it simply means that being in school, you have a future career you intend to pursue, right?
Yes.
So can you talk to us about your future ambition?
I want to become a medical doctor.
A medical doctor, awesome. Now, can you please tell us one or two, three things you feel a doctor can always do in our present society to make it good, better, and be the best? What are the duties of the doctors?
Treats people.
Treat people.
Save lives.
Save lives. Okay, that's a very great one. So doctors are basically to treat people, save lives, and make people feel better. Awesome. All right, I want us to talk about something briefly outside the classroom. What can you say about this word communication? How can you explain or define communication?
Communication is the fundamental process of transmitting information, thoughts, ideas, and feelings.
Thank you for that. That's awesome. Transmitting information, having to pass an information from one person to another. And I believe that is what is actually going on in our present environment. What we're doing right now is a means of communication. Isn't that so?
Yes.
All right, good. That's a very great one. Now, why do you think it's good to communicate? What's the benefit of communication?
Teamwork.
Teamwork, also.
Problem solving.
Problem solving.
That's all.
Okay, because for you to achieve a particular task in an organization, teamwork comes in place, and in teamwork, people tend to share ideas, talk to one another. That's a great one. Okay, this other question I would like to ask you. Do you feel it is good for a child to communicate his or her private life to the parents, or rather to his or her peers?
I feel the child should communicate with his or her parents.
Okay, so why do you feel so?
Because your parents can give you better
advice and guide.
Yes.
Okay, so having to talk to your parents first is the most important that you feel for a child, right?
Yes.
All right. I think that is a great one because your parents are closer to you, and I feel your parents can always guide you through the right track. So it's far better to talk to your parents, unlike having to talk to friends that you might not get the best out of. All right. Now, I want you to talk to me about some methods of communication. How do you think communication can actually take place? Ways in which people communicate.
Verbal communication.
Verbal communication, awesome.
Non-verbal communication.
Non-verbal communication.
And written communication.
Awesome. So basically, you can always write in form of a letter to someone. That's a communication method. And you can also have a conversation like a phone call and the like, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, if I may ask you, have you faced any challenge when it comes to communication?
No.
Not at all. So it means you are a good communicator, right?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, but you've not actually faced any challenge like that. Okay, so now in the scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rate yourself in the aspect of communicator in the scale of 1 to 10. You said you're not really a good communicator and you are not bad at the same time. So in the scale of 1 to 10, what are you going to rate yourself?
Let's say it's 6.
6. All right. Awesome. Well, just like what we said at the beginning, communication is the key, and it helps have people come together, share ideas, and get things done basically. Now let's talk about the classroom right now. Now in the classroom, I would like to know what's your favorite subjects in the classroom.
My favorite subject is English.
English.
Yes.
Okay. English. All right. Having to talk about a subject that you don't really like, maybe you find it challenging or kind of boring, what would that subject be?
History.
History. Why?
It's always boring.
Because it talks about the ancient and the past, right?
Yes.
Okay, history. Well, history might look boring, but then again, I feel history it's one good subject because it gives you ideas and knowledge of what has happened previously, and having you to know what is going to happen next and what has actually happened then. Okay. Your school as at now, what can you say about your school? What good thing do you like about your school?
The teachers.
The teachers, okay. What about them?
The way they teach and the way they communicate with the students.
So it's like teacher-student friendly relationship, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's a good one. And I also need to ask you this question. If it happens that you need to change, maybe there's something you have an opportunity to change in the school, maybe like a rule or like a law, what do you think that would be?
They should increase the CBT time, because they sometimes give us 5 minutes for 20 questions, which is always small.
Too short.
Yes.
So you need them to increase that time so that you can have more time to solve questions and get the appropriate answers.
Yes.
All right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. I would also want to ask you this question on the social media as of today. Now, which social media platform do you like?
YouTube.
YouTube. And why did you like YouTube? What was your reason for choosing YouTube as a favorite?
Because you can learn a lot from there.
Okay, you can learn a lot from there. Like what?
You can learn English, you can learn maths, you can learn different subjects.
Awesome. Okay. I've come across people saying YouTube, their favorite social media platform. Some say TikTok. As long as it's giving you the exact thing you want, having to learn what you don't know, even you want to probably cook a meal or you want to sew a pattern of a cloth, you can always check on YouTube and you see the guide. All right, that's good. One last question that I would like to ask you on this episode, and that has to do with we need you to listen carefully. Now I'm going to give you two different scores. I'm giving you a 90% and a 75%. Now these two scores are good grades actually, but between these two scores, 90 and 75, which one will you like to give to dad and which one will you give to mom?
I'll give 90 to my dad and 75 to my mom.
Good. 90 to dad and 75 to mom. Okay, this other question. Now you're giving dad 90%. Can you give me one or two reasons why you chose 90% for that?
Because he's the one that always go out to work, struggles pay our school fees.
Cool. He's always there providing all your needs. Awesome. Kudos to dad. All right, so basically Golden has been able to talk to us about communication, why communication is important, what communication is basically all about, and why she feels that having to communicate with your parents is far better than talking to your peers out there. So in the comment section, I would like to have your own view on that. If having to talk to your parents is the best, or you talk to an outsider about your private life. And also, we've come to an end of this episode, and first class exclusive interaction with Young Mind. We have a very little gift for you, Golden, and this is for you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So before we actually leave, I would want to ask you if you have anything to say to your friends out there or your peers. If you have an advice to give to them, what would that be?
I don't really have anything to say.
Okay. Golden says she doesn't have anything to say, but I would say this, that as a child, always do your best at every point in time, and obviously your best pays. Your best positively, basically take note of that, your best positively. So come to an end of this. Do your best to follow us on our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and the likes. Follow, post, and reshare. Thank you, and bye for now.